night just took slugs getting weaker while they fight King Christ, making love to your speaker. If it's round two, repeat the ether. Hype tone, Christ, crush the microphone and get your spring night just took slugs getting weaker while they fight King Christ, making love to your speaker. If it's round two, repeat the ether. Hype tone, Christ, crush the microphone and get you thrown in the sleeper. Niggas don't know me why the phony took shells. Worldwide by Sony, got the homie booked in jail. Cook cells, I put it well, I explode. Fell foes like dominoes, pimp by the code. Hook mode, Book of Joe, puffin' reefer. Christ rocked the microphone with the tone of a leader. Big heart, but he's a bleeder. Floors doing push-ups. Wreck time on the yard doing pull-ups. Keep your hands up, cut like a razor. Before your bust man touch with the laser. Street monk, the stunt slayer.
All right, dear District 120 Music. Sincere Kasim. Is this Kasim that just got out? No, that's Kasim with a C. What's the deal though? What's going on out there? You know, I can see the what's the names right now for the time being. So we're gonna flow with that. You know, today's live stream is gonna, we bouncing a little bit off of yesterday. Yesterday's live stream. Refined. Welcome to the channel. But we're gonna be bouncing off of yesterday's live stream. In terms of knowledge the born, some of these odd things that we see out there, right, is because this is not religion. This is not the pearly gates. Self I built. Emilio Garza, welcome to the channel. You know what I'm saying? But this is not religious. So it's not something where, you don't get to lay all your burdens down. You see what I'm saying? It's not, it's not, see, we don't believe in the mystery God, right? So we don't believe in the magical stuff to happen. We're not religious where, we under the impression that one man with a staff, right, can come and split the Red Sea. Peace, man. Hey, peace, man. Yeah, man. That one person can come with their staff, right, and split the Red Sea and deliver everybody. See, it's got to be each one of those people, right, that's a part of that nation or that group or whatever, that, has to do the small things that it takes to make things go. You see what I'm saying? And see where that comes into play at, right? Wise understanding. Where that comes into play at, right, is, a lot of people come into this knowledge, right? And that's the way they see it. Like people come into this knowledge and then it's like, that's it, I got the knowledge now. Like I said, you now that you got the knowledge, you waiting for the magical powers to kick in. You waiting to be able to walk through walls and levitate over buildings and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? And you never take into account that, this is just when you get the knowledge, that's just the beginning. Like think about it. You get the knowledge of who the black man is out the first degree. You think that's it? The very first thing you come around that guy, we tell you that you got. You think that's it? No, we told you that you the man in charge. Right? Now look, here's the thing though, right? Some people only go from knowledge to wisdom. They don't go from knowledge to born. See, like they come into the knowledge, right? And they gain the ability to speak some of our language. Encyclopedia Brown. They gain the ability to speak some of our language, right? But they don't never take things from knowledge to born. You see what I'm saying? Like, see, when you first come in tune with this knowledge, right? And you first, you being around other young people that's just coming into the knowledge too, right? I got sincere. You being around other young people that's just coming into the knowledge too. So yeah, a lot of times y'all got poor knowledge. There's some elements of the history, right, that we don't even know. Not for nothing, Encyclopedia Brown, you know, that that point that you're making, it is starting to be some people. Cause I actually look, how many? I'm sure you got some new scam guides episodes prepared because some of the things I've been seeing over there on that side of things. I think you need to do a couple of more scam guides, you know. And yes, they've been grafted. See, that's Yakub's grafted devil of the planet Earth, where he grafted them through a physical. They went through a physical grafting process. You see, it's all types of people that go through mental grafting processes, right? We got Uncle Ruckus. We got Uncle Ruckus all over the place. That's the reality. You know what I'm saying? But uh, even when you look at it from that perspective, right? A scammer is somebody who don't take things from knowledge to born. And so, like I said, you may come in tune with this, right? You may first get exposed to the knowledge in all types of ways from all different types of people, right? You don't have the ability to really control how you come in contact with the knowledge. But see, like I said, that's just the beginning. So now it's like, okay, boom, you got the lessons. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know how to speak it. But you don't really understand what you're saying. Divine understanding. You don't really have a grasp or understanding on what you're saying. And because you don't have a grasp or understanding on what you're saying, You don't have a grasp or understanding on what you're doing. Like, see, that's a whole science. When you're talking about teaching something, right? See, there's things that you can do, right? That you never, like, see, language, the way people learn language, right? You learn how to speak, you learn how to use, syntax and diction and all of these things without you uh necessarily consciously even registering that these words that you're using is nouns and verbs, etc., etc. But you've learned the rules, right, through being around, through imitation. But see, just like what I'm saying right now, when you first learning that, you just repeating. People are saying words and you imitating, but do you know what they mean? Because see, if you don't know what they mean, right, as how you gonna execute it? Like right now, if you tell a 1 year old, you know, why don't you Google Alpha Centauri for me? Yeah, find out, Google, do a Google search, and tell me how far away is Alpha Centauri. See, they can't go to that next level of executing what it is. You see what I mean? Because if they can't speak it on a certain level, right, the idea is not determined enough. And you're dealing with things that you don't really understand. See, if you really understand something, right, then you can explain it to all the people. Meaning, look, if you're dealing with somebody, right, that's in preschool, you can explain it to them. If you're dealing with somebody who has a doctorate degree, you can explain it to them. Now, they might agree with you or disagree with you. But see, this is what happened, man, where a lot of people get stuck because you're not understanding. See, a lot of people want to say knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? Okay, now that's man, woman, and child. But see, you still got culture, you still got power. So you got people, look, they man, woman, and child, they don't get along with each other. The culture that they have, right? The power that they manifest, all these is different things that still make it complete when you talking about the family. Just having a man and a woman there that's biologically related to this child, right, does not make them the father and mother of civilization. You see what's the difference there? So you could be the father of all kinds of things. Yeah, basically, right? You got the father of embellishment and the father of righteousness, but you could be the father of all types of things in the midst of those categories. See, these are the things that you won't pay attention to if you're not thinking from knowledge to born. Because you're thinking that because you got the knowledge, right, you already passed, I say Yakub, passed all colleges and universities. Yeah, that's what I told him. He told him who's watching. He comes down there, I told him he's over there. He's still in there. Peace, all right. Hey, yeah. Go. Peace. Peace to God. Open the door. You gotta go home, man. You see what time it is? You gotta go home. Shoot, like I told you 20 minutes ago, you gotta go home. No, you just stuck, man. Whew. Get it? Dealing with the young is yeah, you know. But at any rate, getting back to what I'm saying is that you got a lot of that in the knowledge. See, understand that's what you hearing, right? Like that's why a lot of times I don't be talking like that. You see, you hear people talking about when the rally was wall to wall. You know, when this was the case, when that was the case. Yeah, that was a lot of people that never took knowledge to born. That was a lot of people that even, the way that you chose to do things wasn't sustainable. And so when you got the born, the cipher wasn't complete. And so what happens? You end up you gotta retire. You gotta retire because of everything you did after the knowledge. Getting the knowledge is just the beginning. See, getting the lessons is just the beginning. This is just a matter, right, of preparing yourself to be able to go out into the world, right, and see things on every level. See, like, every color, right? Every color is on a particular wavelength of light. Don't worry about all that. Just get that out of there. Leave that there. Actually, yeah. You checked on him, Doc? No, I ain't get a chance to call Love. Actually, I talked to Love earlier, but he ain't get a chance to talk to him yet. They say he's in Brooklyn Hospital. In Brooklyn? That Bashik went to see him today. But my point still being that look, that's what you hearing about when you hear about all the people, right, that was around in the past. Hey, don't get me wrong. You got people that have moved on, right, to a different post. Like in order for this to be universal, everybody can't be on the same post. So you got people that have done that, but a lot of them is just people that never took knowledge to born. They never was complete. So even when I don't disagree with it, right? But I really say that born means to bring into existence. Born means to be complete. See, because you could start something, right? You could start something, but that don't mean you're gonna finish it. See what I'm saying? Like, see, look, people say, born is like the 9 months. It's like the 9 months that it takes the baby to be born, right? Question. This is a real question for the room, right? Does the baby come into existence at the end of 9 months? Or is that when it's complete? Anybody can answer that. Bueller, anyone can answer that. It's okay if you all answer at the same time. Darkim. True self. Julie TV. Yeah, we got a couple of people here at District 120. True self, Julie TV. All agree with me is that at that point, it's complete. And that's the thing that you got to keep in mind. That see, that's what all of that, when it says the father of civilization, right? You got to take knowledge to born for that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not actually the same thing. It's ideally it should be the same thing. But see, you being the father of the child is not necessarily being the father of civilization. You gotta take knowledge to born. See, when you look, all you gotta do is go outside. All you gotta do is go into any New York City public school, right? And you're gonna see Darkims. You're gonna see kids named Wise, kids named Scientific. You're gonna see kids named Divine Agent, etc., etc. And a lot of them, unfortunately, you're gonna see them practicing things that you know is not our teachings. And that's because you gotta take knowledge to born. Speaking of that, I was talking to my daughter earlier, right? And I asked her if she still does this. She doesn't tell when she meets 5%, right? And they ask her, how you get to be a 5%. She tells them that, she was born in it, right? But she doesn't tell them that she's related to me. She says that it's weird and elitist. Who knows? Gen Z stuff. Life magnetic. Knowledge born. You know what I'm saying? And so we know what happens, right? Because we deal with addition and multiplication, right? So see, when you don't make things complete, right? When you don't take knowledge to born, right? Can anybody tell me who's this? Deborah Timms. Welcome to the channel. Can anybody tell me, right, what that is going to result in? We just talking about the mathematical. See, that's what we deal with this mathematics, right? Because it creates formulas and equations, right? We're able to make predictions and come to conclusions through using supreme mathematics. Don't everybody answer at the same time? Concern love from the neighborhood. Missed us by that much. Concern love. Did I tell you I was up on Cedric Avenue and seen some cats brawling up there? did I mention that? Over there by Kingsbridge. The one cat, you know, he need to do some burpees or something. I don't know what it is, but it was one of those situations where it was like, look, don't try to fight it right now again. Wait till tomorrow. Come out first thing in the morning before you start drinking. Before you start drinking, right? That's when you try to don't try to fight him again right now. You ain't got you this is not your day. You said regardless of the end result, you know you went through the proper channels, supreme mathematics. I said that those, right? If you take knowledge, if you take it from knowledge to born, right? If you take knowledge to born, right? Or you don't take the knowledge to born, right? What is the outcome? I got sincere said, regardless of the end result, you know you went through the proper channels. Deborah Timms, yeah, I don't even, you put these stuff here. I don't know how to read emoji. I don't know. Like that's a whole language that people send me emojis all the time. I have no idea what they mean. Right? So District 120 said reward or penalty. That's the simple answer. Because knowledge born, right? 1 and 9 is equal to knowledge at a cipher. And so now, like you said, now this is the outcome. This is the stuff that comes back to you. This is the stuff that comes back to you. These is the rewards and the stripes that you receive, right? For the things that you do and the things that you don't do. So see, that's what you saw yesterday. That's what happened yesterday. See, the knowledge born degree didn't apply to him. So because he couldn't deal with the knowledge born degree, you got to be in the wisdom out of cipher degree now. See, now you got to be punished by the Nation of Islam. That's what it says, right? See, by him coming on here, you read that. That's what brought me into it. But see, you're going to be beat with many stripes on your own. Who's this here? Curdo Van de Norden. What is this? You said Al Messiah Isa, son of Mariam, was no more than a messenger of Allah and his word, which he bestowed on Maryam in the spirit from and the spirit from and the spirit from him. So believe in Allah and his messengers. I mean, welcome to the channel. Apparently, this is your first time here. You know, uh, all I could tell you is that the word and the truth, was here before Jesus, Maryam, Muhammad, his messengers, etc., etc. And they're gonna be here, with or without them. So, I'm not exactly sure, why I would be doing this here that you're talking about, believing in all of this stuff here. But I appreciate I appreciate I appreciate you trying to save my soul. She said, talk to you, let's debate. Well, I'm not gonna debate you. But I could put the link in here. Let me see if I can get it in here. I know it'd be drama. Hold on, let me see. We're gonna try experiment. If I get cut off, don't be alarmed. But we're gonna see if we can get this link in here for Mr. Curtle. Because like I said, I appreciate you trying to save myself. But I'll say this, Mr. Curtle. Cause. Like just generally speaking, this probably right, that appears that I was successful. But I don't know why, anybody, like I'm not talking about what you're talking about. In order for you to debate somebody, there's gotta be, even though, when you think about debate, you think about people having different opinions. But in order for debate to take place, there actually has to be a lot of common ground. Like we gotta speak the same language. We gotta respect the same authorities for knowledge. Free cipher. You know what I'm saying? But look. And I mean, it's not too much other ways to say this, right? It's not too much other ways. But look, right now, right? Religious Muslims, right, is all over the Middle East going through a tremendous amount of trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? So why precisely you're on the internet trying to save my soul? Because that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to save souls. See, I saved myself and the people around me who understand the situation and want to be saved. But as far as I'm concerned, look, don't worry about what I believe in. If your God exists, tell him to do his job. We worry about me for. And one of the things that get me about this religious stuff is that all of this is supposed to be going on, right? All these trials and tribulations in the world, right? It's supposed to be going on because he wants us to love him. Now think about that. In what other situation, right, would you consider this some kind of righteousness? So it's fine and good. Like I said, I appreciate it, but you got other souls to save. You got other souls to be worried about, to be concerned about, that you need to save, right? Amongst your people. I got other things and other people, right, that I got to save. It's not, it's not on you solo, right? For me, I live in areas, the areas around me is areas where, uh, lots of young people get lost in terms of, the various beasts that's out there that if you send them out into the street, right, without the proper knowledge, you feeding them to wild beasts. You know what I'm saying? Drugs, gangs, crime, violence, you know, just generally just being out there without no direction either. Right? Those is all beasts, right, that eat up the young kids, right, before they even know what they dealing with in the areas where I'm around. So see, really, that's debating you. I got shit to do. I got, that's what I'm saying. Like, not even this shit, above it, bro. I ain't even get there yet. Let me finish all this, right, and then debate that. Debate that right there. Debate that activity. See, we can't see you try to debate on things, right? John Lewis, welcome to the channel. My whole life was violence and re-ups. Yeah, Tom, Nasir, we don't debate, we demonstrate. What they thinking? We don't debate, we demonstrate.
You sign that in them and all that.
You see what I'm saying? But there's like right now, right? This is what I'm saying. let's say you going home to your house, right? Now somebody might think that they debating you. Like somebody might say, "Nah, this ain't your house, this is my house." They think they debating you. Hey nigga, I'm not debating with you. I'm just giving you a chance before I hurt you. I'm giving you an opportunity to get out of here. So see, it's the same thing. You can't really debate me on supreme mathematics. You can disagree with me, but you can't really debate me. That might be what you think you're doing. Like, look, we all heard that story, right? Where somebody said they debated with Allah for 3 days about whether knowledge comes before wisdom or not. That's the way he said it. If you ask me, no, see, Allah told you what it was, and it took you 3 days to see it. See, fortunately for you, right, he took the time and patience, right, to invest that wisdom into you so that you could see it too. See, that's why I don't humor that stuff. Look, they asked me to come on here. Yeah, yo, brother, you gotta debate, man. You know what I mean? If you got confidence in what you saying, man, then you shouldn't have no problem debating. Debate what? You were supposed to debate whether this God is more powerful than that God. Nigga, your God ain't show up. What are we debating? You forfeit. You forfeited. You in a debate whether I'm God or Jesus is God. Jesus ain't show up. Where you at? You forfeited. Debate. Facts is facts. If you got some facts, why would I debate them? See, listen. You can't click the link in the chat in the stream. You see, I see this. I tried this new app, and see one thing I'm seeing with this joint, right, is that you really need the computer. So I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this at the end of this month. That was we experimented to see if we could make some improvements here, and this is what happened. So let's talk about better education for our children. Let's debate about how we can get these kids with no leadership on. It said on board to get leadership with the proper knowledge. Let's debate about that. I mean, not for nothing. There's some stuff to debate there that's going on. I don't know, man. And this is not, we don't deal with that kind of content. You know what I'm saying? But I saw that and it was something where it was like, yo, if I had that type of channel, did you see the thing where it was all these boys with pink dresses on? Like, I don't even know what that was about. Like, I don't know what the event was. I didn't look into it. You know what I'm saying? I just saw it. It was like, yo, I you know, that's one of the things where, like, I must have dozed off or something, and I don't know. Like, we was riding in the car, and I woke up in this location. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying, Lord Nasir, but I'm just saying that, yeah, we going to debate something. Yeah, let's debate. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the bottom of this right here and just, what does anybody know what that was about? Because I didn't. Yeah, I don't know, but when I when I copied and pasted it, I copied and pasted it into YouTube and into the YouTube app. So why it's not coming up, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, at the end of the day, those are the things, what I'm saying, that, not even to say, I mean, because it's no debate, it's not like we're going to be debating whether these things is needed or not. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, better forms of education or whatever that, brothers and sisters can navigate a little bit more, right? Whoa. This is something's going on here. Because look, first we got first we got the Muslim brother there trying to save my soul. And now we got the warrior saying, I love your LGBTQT vibe. Right? Now look, I see, is that a typo? Or y'all done reorganized? Because, I'm saying, you gotta ask these things. You gotta ask these things. But look, and don't take this the wrong way, right? But could you tell me what it was that led you to think that I have an LGBTQT vibe, right? So that I can never do that again. Just let me know. Oh, I know what it is. It's the pink dresses. Damn, this AI is powerful. All I said was boys in pink dresses, and the warrior came on the page. Did you just get an alert? Did you just get an alert on your app that somebody said, because you're not a member of the channel? That is crazy, man. You gotta, hey, listen, watch these phones. Refine said charity event. What's the charity? What's the charity event? Random Jewels, yeah. Yeah, we on Random Jewels. We on 3, what's the name? Just some charity run in New Orleans. Eric says, repent and believe in the gospel. Look, Eric, I tried the gospels and received nothing but hard time, hunger, nakedness, and out of doors. And also beaten and killed by the ones that advocated the gospel. So what say you, Eric? What why is it that was my experience with the gospels? You know what I'm saying? And then here's the thing, Eric. Why are you going to just assume that I need to repent? Like why can't why can't listen? Can I get the benefit without the doubt? Then why you going to just assume? Why you going to just throw me under the bus like that, Eric, and say that I need to repent? Oh, so the red dresses was for a charity event, right? Okay, so the red dresses was for a charity event, right? Now, how how oh, maybe that's what it is. Go go on the Random Jews. I posted it on the Random Jews channel. I'm trying to smell good. But this is what I'm saying. Okay, so how was wearing the dresses supposed to help, right? One. And you know, what was the charity? You know, and I mean that part, is not as important as just like, yo, how did they get how did they get how did they get, you know, because especially, you took like all of these people had to consider, how some things it's like, okay, the person might have been emotional or something, or whatever, they was in a state of mind where they made some bad decisions, right? But then you got situations where it's a mass of people. It's like more than one person had to agree or go along or look the other way or just not notice. When you got a mass of people that that does that, you know So who's on here? Who's the people who said it was a charity event? This is what I'm saying. Like what? Like like this is what I'm saying, right? I did a charity show not too long ago, right? Where I went and performed, with some other people, whatever, and the proceeds went to the food pantry across the street, right? So, but what I'm saying is that the piece with the magnetic was the performers, meaning that that's what made the people come and spend the money that was used to donate. So this is what I'm asking, right? Is what was the like? How did the dresses play into the what's the name? Because a lot of that stuff, it's that in particular, that individual thing is not as important, but it is something about the greater culture that we exist in. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's a lot of people that was born in the nation, but you got to remember that. Look, that's the, when you going out there to teach, right? That's the, this is the recruits right here. These are the recruits, right? That you trying to, you try to get them to the level of private soldier. not in your army, you know what I'm saying, just in the science of righteousness and all of that. These is the people. Like, if this is what the people know already, so don't let that be lost on you. Is that when they talk about the 70s and the 80s, right? You got to remember the atmosphere of the rest of the world, the atmosphere in the city of New York. We grow up here knowing that, yeah, all the people was here. Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King came through, uh, Father Divine came through, you know what I'm saying? Various people, over the years. And so this is the atmosphere that we growing up in, right? When people drop a little jewel on us, right? We the generation of people that grew up seeing the Black Panthers and all of that. We the generation of people that grew up, you know what I'm saying, uh, as the people is accomplishing what they accomplishing in the civil rights era, right? They doing this with the mindset that this is for kids, this is for the kids that's coming. We gonna accomplish this thing so that they can benefit, and we're gonna have to make sure that they know about and keep this struggle in mind that we've been through. Right? So when I was growing up, yeah, I was hearing all about a lot of things from the 85% world. You know what I'm saying? The New Jersey Turnpike starts on the other side of the George Washington Bridge. So see all the Asada Shakur, all of that stuff. Right? That's just a part, those are different things that, you learn about growing up in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Your parents or your uncles or whatever aunts might have had experience with these people, or, tell you stories about them, or we was in the same place at the same time. So when they had all that freedom marches and all that in the 60s, my pops was there. So this is the atmosphere that's, you understand what I mean? So yeah, I'm right. By the time I hear the knowledge, yeah, the bells is ringing. But it's like, as just from the outside looking in, man, and look, I hope, let me just, because, this topic we talking about, in case we wake up tomorrow without a channel, it's been good knowing y'all. But, in my time, yeah, we was dumb, deaf, and blind. But now, look, it's blind, deaf, dumb, crippled, crazy. it's everything. So, it's definitely something that I see is being done on purpose. See what I'm saying? Like the other day when we was talking about, how the devil teaching to keep our people illiterate, how when that lesson was written, you talking about in a literal form. You know what I'm saying? Even a high school diploma in a lot of locations, right, for, our ancestors was impossible. But in this day and time, we know that the literacy rate, is probably at least in the 90s. So to me, you know what I'm saying, these is other things that's doing that make it that much further. See, that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't have a long leap to make. I didn't have a long leap to make from the mindset I already had, right, to, seeing myself as God, accepting that phrase right there. Some people just can't accept the phrase. Robespierre. That's, I can't remember. Did Robespierre get his head chopped off? I can't remember. I think I recall Robespierre was from the French Revolution, and I think I recall him being, he was like one of the main people with the sword. But then eventually, the revolution turned on him. But correct me if I'm wrong there, because you're Robespierre the second. So maybe you could riddle us about I was when it started, when that short came out, the short where it said heaven and hell is conditions of the mind. Then I started getting all these kind of people. Do I need to retract that statement or something? But at the risk here, I don't. We know that this can very easily go left, right? Especially on a day like this, where we got people like Robespierre in here. Mike Anderson says, "Darkness, is that you?" Yes, and I'm spreading. Darkness is spreading. I don't know, y'all. Is this good or bad? Because it's to a certain degree. It's like, hey, look, this is big time YouTube right here now, where you actually have trolls. See, not everybody say that. But welcome to the channel, Mike. All of this is a part of the atmosphere that we in now. That's what I'm saying. You got to consider that, right? Even to say, look, you going out there to teach the people. So you going out there to teach the people, then it's your duty to provide a message that's clear, right? How do you provide a message that's clear if you don't know nothing about these people? You don't know the language that they speak. You don't know the values that they have. You know what I'm saying? All these various things. So now when you going out there and you wondering why I can't reach these people, because you ain't teaching, you ain't doing your duty. You just talking about what you want to talk about. Which is cool if that's what you want to do, but I'm just saying that don't then turn around and wonder why you having such a hard time being the father of civilization in 2000 AD. So it's not a matter of just that, but just look, these are the people that you in the mix of, And then she like me, look, I got kids, so now these are just the people. Like, look, sometimes I be talking to my daughters, man. Look, this does not uh, my daughter's not encouraged when she sees stuff like that. she's not she's not encouraged by that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, all the things that's going on around us, yeah, people minding their business. But don't never let it be lost on you that this the world we gotta live in, son. This is it, say. Look, the rapture, go someplace else if you want to hear about that, because I don't have nothing. It's no knowledge that I got ever about death. Not here. You know, like in terms of, yeah, you know, your body, it go back to the earth, you know, and your energy, you know, which the earth is the universe too, but you know, the energy go back out into the universe or whatever. But in terms of, you know, you embarking on some whole other great adventure, you embarking on some whole other great adventure after you die. Nah, I ain't never hear about that over here. You know what I'm saying? If that's your plan, then Jesus is going to come back and save you from all these things that's going on around you, then cool, you're good, right? But if not, then yeah, you got to wonder, you got to about the society of people that you existing in. Almighty say, cool, self-realization. See, especially, you know, as God, you know what I'm saying, you in your peak, you in your prime and all of that, a lot of things you're not concerned with. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta remember that we got people that we love, right? That's on all other levels, right? Of being able to defend themselves mentally as well as physically. See, all these various ideas, you know, don't think that the people around us, right, is immune to those seeds being planted. You see what I'm saying? You got to continue to till the soil, to till the land of your children's minds. People trying to plant all types of weeds and GMO and shit like that in your kids' minds. And see, you got to battle that. Fortunately for me, my kids went to school before this era. But look, I was there. I was there. Like I'm talking about at the cusp of this kind of thing going into the education system, right? They came out with something, the way I recall it, it was called the rainbow curriculum. Right? Now mind you, because I started having, my first son is born, I was like 19 or 20, something like that, right? So there really wasn't a long period of time that I wasn't dealing with the Board of Education, right? Either as a student or a parent, right? So, of course you gotta wait, my son gotta get to school age. So yeah, there's a little window in there, right? And then so I recall what it was when I left there. And so, this is coming on the news and everything. That they're gonna start this rainbow curriculum, right? Where they're gonna be teaching the kids about how there's other families. that, some families have two mommies, some families have two daddies, and something came out a couple of years ago where they was upset because they was like, yo, black fathers have always been a problem when we try to introduce this stuff. Yeah, I was like, yeah, nah, take that back. we not, yeah, nah, we not, or because a lot of stuff then is still optional. And yeah, nah, he's not participating in this and that. You see what I mean? And see, that's a certain science too, man. That's a certain science. See, when they be talking about, what I'm saying, the woman is supposed to raise the baby up to 6 and all. See, part of that is that, especially in this day and time, right? Even in marketing, right? In marketing, they say that if you can get a child to recognize your product by the time they're like 4 years old, that you got a customer for life. And so the Ronald McDonald's and the Hamburglers and the King and all of these cartoon characters, right? The Snap Crackle Pop, Tony the Tiger, all of that is designed to get the child to recognize your product before a certain age, so that they can become uh the DARE program. Hold up, I got something for that too, so that they can become lifelong customers of that. And so, see, now that you see they got preschool, right? And when kids go into preschool, they can start to plant them seeds before that age, right? Now, look, this is something that I noticed, right? Just an observation. These is only a couple of people, right? This is not a big study. But my oldest two kids, right, in New York, they didn't have preschool when they was, under 5. So both of them started school at an age where they had an idea about who they was. So see, like for instance, my oldest son never said the Pledge of Allegiance. He never said the Pledge of Allegiance. I told him, I said, listen, what he said here, Senate Bill. Hold up, I got all types of stuff here. People sending me. Senate Bill 10, signed into law by Governor Greg Abbott, mandates the display of the Ten Commandments in all Texas public school classrooms effective September 1st. The bill requires the 16 by 20-inch poster or framed copy of the Ten Commandments to be prominently displayed in each classroom. That's what I'm saying. Now, my son, I told him, I was like, yo, look, it's not a big deal, G. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, because they even tell you, like, look, he don't got to say it. All you got to do is stand up while we say it. He wouldn't stand up. Look, he took the penalties where it's like, well, look, if you don't say the Pledge of Allegiance, when we doing certain things, then you got to sit out. He just sat out. When I'm telling him, like, yo, G, you don't got to do it. But he just, I don't know, like it was nothing that we ever spoke about or nothing. He just wasn't with it. See, because by now, he's been coming to the rally, like he knows the enlightenment and all this stuff. He's like, I'm not with y'all like that. But now, see, by the time my daughters was getting older, right, now they realize we've been fucking up, right? Talking about the colored man, they realize, okay, we've been fucking up. We got all these kids out here talking about they God and the earth. What are we going to do? They bring back preschool. You know what I'm saying? And while, that didn't cause me to become 85, I do see some areas where, my daughters have at least more empathy for some of these topics. So, that stuff that's out there, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's in the terms of like, okay, knowing what to shut down. You know what I'm saying? Like even to say, look, not to condemn them or whatever, but just to say, look, all right, I'm not gonna look at this. Like I'm not gonna subscribe to this channel, right? And have my kids on my phone watching this. Or on the Amazon, on the TV, or whatever it is. That's why I think it is something you got to know, because see, that's how people get caught up. See, if you send your kids in there, right, and it's all the stuff that they don't know, then their curiosity could get the cat. See, all that stuff, I did that. Like, look, when we get to November, right, when look, as soon as you get in the school, right, look, in a couple weeks, they're gonna start bringing out all this stuff with ghosts and all this stuff. Listen, we don't do that. Okay, in a couple more weeks, they're gonna come with all this stuff with turkeys, etc. Listen, we don't do that. Look, on this day right here, right, they're gonna tell you, look, make a card for your mother because it's Mother's Day. No, your Mother's Day is every day. You don't. That's not for you. Because see, if you unaware, they gonna be unaware. And if they unaware, like I said, everybody is not on the same level of being able to defend themselves mentally as well as physically. You know what I'm saying? Now, Jula TV says that's like the DARE program. They introduced drugs to kids in school. Now, listen, I don't know if that was the DARE program. You know what I'm saying? But look, there was a dude that came. I'm not playing, man. I'm pretty sure I was in the 8th grade, right? When did the DARE program come out? But this dude came to the school and told us that smoking crack feels like 100 times better than sex. Hey, listen. See, fortunately for me, I was from the Carter. So I knew what crack do to people. So, but it was one of the things when he said that, we all in the class like, word? Like, yo, that's gotta be dope. In his mind, he was scaring us. I think he was trying to scare us away. But see, that's what it was. He didn't realize that, bro, I'm from the block, son. I'm from the building. This is where everybody around here cut in my building to get work. He didn't realize that. So, but yeah, that I don't know if that was there. I don't know if that's who that was. But I'm telling you, say, if we, because like I said, this is junior high school, so everybody, we all in the same neighborhood where certain things is going on. But if we had been in a different, like somewhere in the suburbs, that would have been a classroom full of crackheads. Oh, man. So let's say Congress shall pass no law respecting the establishment of religion. I mean, look, that's why it's lawyers, son. Love. You know, I'm sure they got some other provision in there. But look, this is why lawyers get the big bucks. This is why lawyers get the big bucks. You know, like, see, for instance, off the top of my head, right? That's a state, uh, a state statute, and this is the federal constitution. Which the state statutes is they must comply with the federal law, but somebody's got to bring that case. So, you know, who knows? Look, but my point is, they're going to do what they're going to do. In terms of, you know what I'm saying, you know, if they're going to pass this law, allow that, whatever, they're going to do what they're going to do, right? What we going to do. See, we already know they got the All-Star team. We already know what they do. We know what they do. But like I said, just being prepared to where you can say, all right, we know that they're gonna be putting this into the schools, right? Hey, look, let's keep it on. Look, they're gonna put their 1 to 10 in the schools. See, you got to send your youth in there with their 1 to 10 already. You know, it's got to be certain things that's already, right? They already used to a way of life. You know, we got X, Y, Z things. We don't eat that. See, all the stuff you put on lunch, if I don't know what this is, I ain't eating it. You know, if you have to send them with their lunch from the house so that they know, you understand what I mean? But these is the things that's in the midst with us, right? That, you know, they not affecting the knowledge, but they affecting, you know, when you walking down the block, you know, are you able to do that without being worried about stray bullets? You know, are you able to send your kids out to play in the snow without being worried about, you know, what might happen? You know, or are you waiting for the rapture so you can get to the perfect place where y'all can just play the harp? Y'all can just play the harp and do communion. Omar Carter. So what's the topic? Well, the topic was, you know, originally, you know, making sure that you take knowledge to born, you know, because, you know, it was kind of inspired by the topic from yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Where it was a brother that he was introduced to some poor knowledge coming into this, right? And then because he never took knowledge to born, right? He never destroyed. You know, we all got to go through that. This ability to destroy is in there, right? So we continue on, right? We renew the things that you know what I'm saying, is positive, right? And we get rid of anything that's going to cause our knowledge to be born dead. But when people never get to the point of living it out, people go from knowledge to wisdom. You go from being introduced to this knowledge to being able to speak it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, because of Spanish class, right? I can read Spanish better than most Spanish people. But if you're speaking it, I don't know what the most they talking about. I understand a certain amount, but it's certainly words that they can use. There's sentences that they can use that I wouldn't know. You see what I'm saying? Because I didn't never complete it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I started those studies because it was in my syllabus of class. You see what I mean? But I never completed it and went and lived amongst people where I had to speak Spanish, right? For all of my, you see what I mean, survival for me to do what I got to do. You see? Now you living it out. She said, so Dare came in the early 90s. So, okay, that's after my time, right? So I don't know. I don't know who these people was that came to the school. I don't know who these people was. All I can tell you for sure, right, is the man who came and told us that crack was 100 times better than sex, right? He was a Puerto Rican man that looked like Alexis Arguello. You remember? You remember the boxer? You remember the boxer? Alexis Arguello. He looked like him, man, and I don't know why they dispatched him. I don't know why they dispatched him to our class. I remember he came in. He asked us. He asked us if we knew what a wooler was. Of course, we know what a wooler is. So you know what? Now I think about Judah TV. It probably was other kids in the class that was their first, experience knowing these things. But the kids that was from my block. Oh man. Shit, I remember in grade school, police came to the school weekly to talk about drugs and staying away from them. Yeah, nah, by the time, uh, you know, I'm a little bit early in the game of crack. You know what I'm saying? And I don't recall them really coming talking to us about dope. Uh, so yeah, I don't recall, elementary was still kind of pristine where they wasn't talking about that type of stuff. Said the program was called Spectre. What year was that? That might have been $150 BMW for sale. Okay, man. I'm gonna say peace, man, but look, you gotta tell us your real name. I'm gonna have to call you the scam guy. Listen, you got sham guys that made your flag, you scam guy. $150 BMW you can sell. That must be, look, BMW stands for something else or whatever. This is not Bavarian Motor Works. Today's mathematics is to build and to destroy. Whew. Okay, let's start at the beginning. What's your righteous name? Let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning, right? So mid 80s. I mean, yeah. This look, that's you in my era, right? But let me see. I think I left elementary though, and Bill understanding, like Bill Wisdom, Bill understanding, something like that. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, yeah. I think that year, like Bill Wisdom going to Bill understanding. That's I think I left. I left junior high. I mean, I left elementary. Uh, but oh, Bensonhurst. Oh yeah, so that's a different. That's a little different. That's but yeah, I had those experiences though with the people coming and you know trying. Oh, what happened? I almost got cut off there. Look like the Tiger Night lady's been in the building. We didn't know. She's sneaky that way. Uh, but yeah, what happened to Scam God? But you know what? Leave him alone. I'm not even gonna get caught up. You know what I'm saying? Because see, that's what happens, man. Is that uh, you know these people? It's like humorous. You know what I'm saying? It's humorous. But see, look, that's why you got to know the ledge. So you got to know the ledge where it's like, all right, see, that's what I said, leave people alone. Is for you to fuck around and be over there off the deep end with them. You see what I mean? Because see what happens, they come on and say something stupid. And then you address what they said that was stupid. But see, the outcome of that is now you talking about something that's stupid. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of talking about what you was dealing with before this person came up and said something stupid. That's why I told him get the fuck on. See, for other people, that might be cool. Other people, they might can have you hanging around. But see, me, right? I know that that is kryptonite for me. Having you around, get the fuck on. See, because then I end up talking about something stupid. See, that's the Luciferian science. See, that's how, look, it's easy to drop something. It's hard to pick it up. To make things go down, the reality is we already got a force for that. Right? It's already gravity. Things is going to naturally tend, and I know we talking about up and down in the universe and the earth and all that, but I'm talking, you know what I mean? See, it's already a natural force pulling everything down. But see, for you to make some things go up, see, you got to provide that power, right? Mentally or physically. So see, it's easy for me to fall off the ledge with these various Luciferian people. So I keep them away from it. So I found a 1964 penny the other day. That's come back to the lessons. So that's what you drew up from that. See what I'm saying? It do be stuff like that's the magnetic. Which see you wouldn't even notice that. Just like you ever go to the store to buy a pair of sneakers, right? Yeah, oh shit, these shits is new. I ain't never seen these before. Then as soon as you walk out the store, you see somebody with some beat up ones, like they must have had them like 6 or 8 months or something. So you like, yo, I thought I had the brand new shit. Like, nah, we done beat these down. We just wear these and take out the garbage now. But see, once you have that knowledge, right, it creates that magnetic. Same thing happened with a car. You get a car, all of a sudden you start noticing all the other cars are the same color as yours. Same make, same model. You understand what I'm saying? Renell Height, welcome to the channel. He said, I heard somewhere in time and space that if you're not teaching the 85, stay away from it. I mean, pretty much. You see what I'm saying? Because you know why that is, right, Omar Carter? Energy goes where attention goes. Indeed. But yeah, you know why that is, Omar Carter? Why you need to stay away from the 85 if you're not teaching them? See, if you're not teaching them, they teaching you. That's the only two ways it works. So we can pretend all these various, social things, but look, somebody, something, some principle is going to be dominant, right, in everything. And so, if the knowledge is not dominant, then the ignorance is going to be dominant. So I can see the comments today. You know what I'm saying? Do we have any questions? We could get to. I guess we could call it some legitimate questions. You know what I'm saying? And not get caught up, right? And fall off the edge with these people. You see, one thing you gotta remember about the devil, they just trying to stay alive. Yeah. See, a lot of shit they don't care about that. And I ain't just talking about the white man. I'm talking about, listen, man, the devil is just trying to stay alive. And see, the devil don't do nothing. The devil don't produce. Bloodsuckers don't produce. So you get mixed up if you want with them, but see, if at the end of the day, they've lasted longer than 6,000 years, then you the dummy. So we got the troll army in there. So hopefully this doesn't backfire. But you know, do we have any questions? Any questions about you know anything that was said today, or just a question you might have? But look, I think because I'm noticing it's not a lot of questions no more. I think we may have the channel may have run its course. See, I already did 360. What happened to the Oh yeah, the food street. Yo, you know what? I'm gonna do that joint tomorrow because I want to do it with uh the stuff where it could tell you where to look the stuff up. Like it was a video that somebody sent me. So yeah, I'm gonna do that one because it's important. In fact, is I teach me here. You just reminded me about something else when we was talking about that food stuff. That I wanted to ask him about something that he said. Yeah, but it's all, man. Look, it's like a whole new science, man, to the dietary stuff, man. Then when I got the knowledge, like I said, you know, back in those days, they was giving out these, they was copies, and it was like 4 or 5 pages stapled together of all the products, right, that had swine in it that you couldn't eat. And when I was getting the knowledge, that was basically, that was, to me, I looked at it like, wow, this is, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, now you got like various, you got like food categories or some shit, man. Like, where you got like, food and like eat food or some shit. Like, hey, listen, man. You got lab grown food. You remember about the salmon, the Aqua Vantage? The Aqua Vantage is a GMO fish, GMO salmon. And they took the DNA of some other fish that grows faster than the salmon. And so, what is this? We got Scam Guy. Somebody tell Scam Guy get out of here. Oh, Scam Guy's about to come with the hard ER, y'all. I am said Jerusalem is the Antichrist. Is that whew, we got option here now, man. See, look, not for that, man. You know, the you know, I guess it's me. I don't know, because see, being that I saw who you was from the beginning, right? These things don't even come across as insults. They come across as a compliment, right? Of how astute I was, right? That you're a scam guy. See, with this $150 BMW for sale. So I am said Jerusalem is preparing for the Antichrist. What is that? like I don't know. Shit, y'all stole Elijah Muhammad teachings. Oh man, so you're not even white because white people don't say y'all, right? I don't know. Look, we don't have a lot of experience. I'm sorry, white people. But look, it's what I'm talking about on this channel, right? I just have, there's a lot of black people that watch this, right? You know, but then stole Elijah Muhammad's teaching. I mean, look, I gotta ask, uh, Eric Cook, is that you? Is, is is that you, Eric? So you saying the Pope is the Antichrist? I mean, I don't know about this stuff. This is, I'm not religious. You see what I'm saying? Like you have to first, see Jesus Christ, a certain kind of way for you really to look at, the Antichrist. Nah, I don't think I saw them. I don't think I saw no questions. Yeah, but it's all good, Omar Cook. You know, Omar Cook. One thing you gotta realize: look, everybody come on this channel get exposed. Don't feel bad. This type of thing happen every day, B. Oh yeah, that's right. His name Eric Cook. I was thinking Omar Cook. That's the basketball player. Yeah, Eric Cook. Is that you? Yeah, the information on there. Yeah, the food stickers. But look, I gotta get because I gotta get the video so we can watch the whole thing, and then like I said, everybody can go and look it up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's crazy. And then that's a whole other category, right? How many things is illegal to eat everywhere else? Like it's stuff that it's illegal to eat. It's illegal to even grow in Europe. But that's also a scam because it's things that's over there that's outlawed here. So they just pass off their poison. Yeah, I am. Look, this is not the channel to come on and talk about other people. Like first you talk about the Jews and the Antichrist, then it's Pope, now it's Muhammad, it's a false prophet. Come on, man. We ain't here to be to leading people alone. They doing what they doing. But look, over here, man, we about to shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so like I said, we're gonna come on tomorrow when that's being that we cut on the day that gives me enough time to get all that stuff prepared so that we can handle that video with the food stuff. We also have a brother sent me a video, something to check out. I didn't get a chance to check it out yet. We check that out. A couple other things, but in the meantime, in the mean, listen. I got it over there. Consume chemicals. Welcome to the channel. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, between times, you know, if you made it this far, do the each one teach one, hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sign off and say peace, and we'll connect.